Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. Today my head is like this, it's working, thinking, overthinking. In my head, my brains, it's a total mess. Why? Because I'm thinking about Mercato 24-25 and I can guarantee you, if you're already in my head, it's a mess. What about the head of Cristiano Giuntoli? A headache puzzle, because Mercato 24-25, I told you, it will be crazy, a lot of ins, a lot of outs, but at the moment, headache puzzle, because it's a total puzzle. I can guarantee you that it's a total puzzle. It will be extremely difficult. And I came to the conclusion, be careful what you wish for. This is the title of today's video, on 3 different topics, different from each other, but be careful what you wish for. Maximum of like if you didn't yet, please continue to subscribe to the channel, and if you want to, if you really like me as a content creator, don't forget we have a second channel, Football, where I upload videos about football, of course, but international football. I spoke about the games of yesterday, Champions League, and prepare the one of today. So if you want to, if you really want to support me, like, subscribe here, and then go and watch the second channel, and then you tell me if you liked it or not. Let's start now with be careful what you wish for. Yesterday was an event in the Adidas flagship store in Milano with 4 Juventini that were representing Juventus, totally dressed in that fantastic, beautiful white training kit, jacket, and the pen. Beautiful. Who was there? Timothy Weah, Ealing Jr., Kenan Yildiz, and Andrea Cambiaso. Look at the picture of Kenan Yildiz. This one, it smells like a number 10. But that's something that we already spoke in the recent days. So let's go to what people were speaking about yesterday. The Juventini, what were they speaking about after that event? Of course, the post-event words of Andrea Cambiaso in front of the microphones. Total disaster. People were celebrating, were happy because, according to them, he confirmed in a way with a lapsus that Allegri will be out next season. When I'm telling you, be careful what you wish for. Look what he said, literally, translated in English. He said, Allegri has been extremely important to me. He trusted me from day one. I must thank him. And that's where we arrive to the hot sentence, I'm proud to have been, to be coached by Allegri. People celebrating, party, lapsus. Andrea Cambiaso just confirmed in front of microphones that Allegri is out. Hey guys, if we need now to check the words, the lapsus of a guy, young guy that is in front of 20 journalists with the lights, with the party, ambiance and everything, and going with, he just confirmed, guys, no. We all can think, of course, we are going towards a direction that this is the last season of Max Allegri. If you're listening to the reports, to the journalists, to the voices, to the rumors, to what is happening this season, of course, we can go there, but we have no certainty. And that certainty has not been given from Andrea Cambiaso. And when I'm telling you, pay attention, be careful what you wish for, because that sentence can be interpreted in 2 ways. As always, there are always 2 ways of checking at things. When you're saying, I'm proud to have been, to be coached by Allegri, maybe, if you really want to go crazy, you could possibly have said, I will not be coached anymore by Allegri because I'm leaving. I'm going to another club, maybe to Real Madrid. Guys, if we are really honest, so let's be objective, lapsus, try to understand the context, and especially then he continues with a beautiful sentence. And that's really a beautiful one, because he said, what about my future? I'm extremely happy here at Juventus. Juventus is an arrival point, and that makes the difference. When I'm always telling you, forget about this longevity, loyalty of players staying 15, 20 years, maybe even Kenan Yildiz, forget about it. Enjoy the players that you have at the moment right now without thinking too much about 10, 15, 20 years in the same club. But there are some players that are thinking a bit different, and especially, and a lot of time, it's Italian players that are born in Italy that know what it is to be at Juventus, especially because Juventus for them is really an arrival point. And these players, well, before leaving, that doesn't mean that they will never leave, but before leaving, they are really thinking twice. But it's not over with be careful what you wish for. It's not over, because according to me, the double flop signatures of Ferguson Bologna and Felipe Anderson Lazio will be a tough one. Will be a tough one because now the puzzle needs to change totally, but really totally. I know that a lot of people, especially yesterday in the video, in the comment section, they were happy. Felipe Anderson, washed player, just celebrated 31 years old, is old, will not make the difference. This is not the player that we need, blah, blah, blah. And probably you are correct. Probably you are correct. But these two players, not behind Juventus, can have a lot of big negative impact. Because if you don't want Felipe Anderson, well, pay attention to the list of the players that will arrive in a second. Now, starting with the midfield, Ferguson is a tough one. Because on Corriere dello Sport they are writing, una signora rifatta, a rebuilt old lady. Let's start with the rebuild. Koopmeiners is not enough. So Koopmeiners, or a player from that amount of money, 50, 55, 60 million euro, Koopmeiners could have been also Thuram, Kefren, was already planned by Juventus. We don't know yet the name, but that's already planned. That's already a lot of cash liquidity that will go out of Juventus. But it's one story to have Koopmeiners or Thuram, a player of 55 million euro, with Rabiot and Ferguson still in your team. Because Rabiot, if he extends, it costs you 0. A Ferguson, this is a bit more offensive kind of player, a bit more qualitative kind of player. It costs you 20 million euro. That means that you have that big investment in the midfield, you keep a Rabiot, and you have a Ferguson. In total, you have the biggest investment in your midfield for about 75, 80 million euro. And then you sell other players, you rebuild the team because it's not enough, but we know that the priority is the midfield. Now it's another story. If Rabiot doesn't extend, Ferguson, that is now out until 2025 and will not be anymore a target for Juventus, well, we need to invest money to find players with the kind of characteristic. Because if Rabiot is leaving, you need a player with these characteristics. And one of the targets that we already spoke about, that I like, is Mikel Merino, that is playing in Spain. Good player. Same characteristics than Rabiot. It's a player that can play as a mezzala in a 3-man midfield. They can also play, and even prefers to play, in a 4-2-3-1 as a double pivot. Extremely good player. Left foot, can play also with his right. Physical, tall, great player. But he has still one more year of contract until 2025, which means you will need to put money on the table, 40 million euro. To replace a Ferguson, probably you will go back to one of your first targets that were Samardzic, but Samardzic will not leave for free from Udinese, so we'll need to pay 20 million euro. 40 plus 20, you have your 60 million euro there. Instead of what? Instead of 20. But on top of that, with a big player as a Koopmeiners, hey, we are out of proportion, eh? It's impossible. So Juventus will need to do even maybe more sacrifices than planned. Even more sacrifice to take money, to have money, to go to go and try to make better the midfield that we have at the moment. And I'm not even speaking yet about McKennie that refused an extension with a 2.5 million euros net salary. Eh? Guys, that's why my head is, what is happening? And it's not over, eh? Because now we spoke about the midfield. But then you will tell me, Beppe, it's okay. We keep Solé and we don't have to spend money. €0 because it's our player. And we go towards the dream. Chiesa, Yildiz, Solé, Vlahovic, all these players, you don't have to sign them because they are all yours. Beautiful, great. But Solé was already planned to be one of the players that can bring you the most on this Mercato session. 35, 40 million euro only profit because it's your youth academy player. That money was already calculated to go on investment partially for Koopmeiners, partially for a Ferguson. And without him, that money needs to enter. And one of the reasons why Felipe Anderson was a player that could enter was to actually make sure that Solé could leave. We take that money and we go towards the midfield. Now, without Felipe Anderson, you still need to sell Solé because that money still needs to come. And probably you need to sell even more to reach the investment that you are doing on the midfield. And that's why you hear the names of a Martial, for example, that all the people that I asked for, and I have the same opinion, we don't want Martial at Juventus, but Martial is €0. And pay attention to the other name that today popped up in Tuttosport, Nicolas Pepe. Nicolas Pepe, ex-Arsenal player that Arsenal spent 80 million euro for. He's 28 now. A few years ago, 80 million euro. At the end, you know what? A few loans here and there, and then he went for free to Trabzonspor at the end of his contract. Nicolas Pepe, that is doing okay at Trabzonspor, 14 games, because there was also that international break that he won with Ivory Coast. 14 games, he scored 4 goals, 2 assists, so he's doing quite okay there. Guys, If you're be careful what you wish for. If you don't want Felipe Anderson, don't expect, I don't know who will come, huh? Don't expect Yamal to arrive at Juventus in that position. Forget about it. Huh? So it will be one of the 3 possible players because, yeah, he flopped at Arsenal. He didn't do that well at Nice. And that's probably also why Juventus is looking at him. When he was at Lille, he was a phenomenal. He was a player that could have a lot of potential, but it's not the same player anymore. Why is Juventus attracted by him? For the same reason of Anthony Martial. Because he cost you €0. Because he has only 1 year of contract with Trabzonspor. That's the reality, yeah? Are there other names? Yes, there are. Greenwood, that Gazzetta dello Sport every day is speaking about. Controversial or not controversial off the field. But why is he there? Because he's a player from Manchester United. And you know what's the target of Manchester United? It is Gleison Bremer. Gleison Bremer going there, you take Martial, you take Greenwood, you take Greenwood because you open a deal where you can speak about 2 players. So be careful what you wish for when you didn't want Felipe Anderson. Another possibility is Zegrova from Lille, because why? He's costing you €15 million. But again, €50 million. You need to spend them, and that money is not available at Juventus at the moment. Another name, of course, is Zaniolo, another one that more and more you start seeing again as a possible name. Also, they're cheap player. And then you have Gudmundsson, that can possibly not play that much in that 4-3-3, but it's a player that is offensive, that can reinforce Juventus, but also there. Barrenechea to Genoa, maybe the deal on loan for 1 season for Thiago Giallo, that a lot of people are criticizing Giuntoli because he's a flop, because he never played. Why did we sign an injured player? Why Atletico Madrid didn't sign Moise Kean? They were smart, we were not. Well, no, it was an opportunity for a great player, a strong player that can play in diverse positions of the defense. There was Inter on him that was about to take him for free. We anticipated with really minimal amount. We tested him. I was not waiting for Giallo to play this season. I always said in the beginning that will be a player for 24-25. They tested him, he's not ready. So it's a player that will probably go on loan somewhere, maybe to Genoa, taking back the physical condition because it's already 13 months that he's not playing, and coming to Juve as a real potential. If it's not working, you can still resell him for 8-10 million euro and Juventus cash in. So I have absolutely no problem with the Thiago Giallo signing, absolutely not. Gudmundsson can be one of the players again, and then when I'm telling you headache puzzle with McKennie that I already told you, that is refusing the 2.5 salary to extend with 2 years, we'll need to sell him. But McKennie will not bring you 40-50 million euro. He will bring you 20 million euro. So it's a problem. It's a headache. It's a tough one. So good luck to Cristiano Giuntoli. I tell you, Mercato will be crazy, but don't expect Calcio Champagne, Mercato Champagne. Yeah? It will be a tough one that we will follow step by step every day here on the channel. And hopefully Cristiano Giuntoli has not only A, but also B, C, D, E, F, G, all these alternative on his paper. Grazie, forza, Juve.